a celebrity interview with the actress Betsy Palmer. Betsy Palmer is probably best known these days from her role as the violently insane, axe-murdering mother of Jason in the movie Friday the 13th. But she had actually become famous long before that because of her years on I've Got a Secret, Girl Talk, and Knots Landing. I spoke with her a few months ago in September of 2005. As a side note, it has just recently been revealed that during his first years in New York, she dated James Dean, the star of Rebel Without a Cause. If I'd known that when I interviewed her, I would have asked for an anecdote or two. Even so, she was wonderfully forthcoming and a joy to interview.
What about makeup effects? Getting all that makeup on?
The thing with Friday the 13th was that Tommy Savini made up that head, the mask, the night before the night I came in to start shooting the show the next day. So I had to sit in a makeup room with straws up my nose because everything, you have all this putty they put all over your face. But he was fun, and it was pleasant. I couldn't talk, of course.
I was going to ask
Which is hard for me. I'm motor mouth if there ever was one.
Is it harder to get the emotions out, and that is to say, to act, you might say, with all that makeup?
No.
Oh, really?
My gosh, no.
Is it easier?
It doesn't make one bit of difference one way or the other. The acting comes from your soul.
Oh, okay.
You know, no, it's not an external thing. Not for me.
Oh.
Not for me.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I've lasted as long as I have. I think I've been in the business 57 or 58 years now. You're a writer, Stephen, and you have this beautiful book, Bones Burnt Black. I like that. Bones are good burnt black. Anyway, Mary Higgins Clark is a dear friend of mine, and talking about being the writer, she wrote these interviews, which I did on the radio show for many years in New York, that went out all over the country. And Mary couldn't get herself arrested. She was teaching at the new school, all of that. This all happened later on.
She's huge now.
Oh, my dear, and then some, I should say. We're dear friends. We see each other. I know her kids since they were little. They're all, and Carol writes with her mother now.
I've got to ask for the fans, what is your favorite role? About all the roles, which one did you enjoy doing the most?
You know, when I'm doing it, it's what I like the best.
Oh, okay.
That's really the way it is. I don't think they ask me who my favorite actors are. No, I have no favorites. It's whomever I'm in, the situation I'm involved with, and that becomes totally a part of you, you know.
I've got to ask you, what was your first role, the first one that you kind of broke into the business with?
Actually, I got a job 5 days after I came to New York, back in 1951. And it was a soap opera that originated from Philadelphia with an actress called Susan Peters. The show was called Miss Susan. And we would travel, actors would travel back and forth every day on the train to Philadelphia, which is an hour and 15 minutes, and then back home again every night, back and forth. And I just fell into it. I walked into a party, a small party. The friend that was giving them their apartment, she and her husband, Frank Sutton, remember Frank Sutton, Gomer Pyles?
Oh, yeah.
It was their house. And a man across the room, which was like maybe 6 feet away because it was a small apartment, saw me walk in, and I heard him say, "She's perfect for it."
Oh, really?
And he beckoned me over, and he said, "Are you an actress?" And I said, yes. I was in New York 5 days, right? And he said, well, on Monday, he said, go up and see so-and-so, which I did. And that man said, do you have a southern accent? I said, I sure enough do, honey. And I got the job, a running role on a soap opera. So that was my first job when I came to New York.
Okay. Was there anybody in the early days that kind of took you under their wing and kind of mentored you a bit? Helped you find your feet, maybe?
Everybody has done that with me, especially when I was young. And working with seasoned actors, you know, they were always loving, always kind, always there with a good suggestion, you know, always for my own benefit, of my own personal growth. And I have I would say that 99% of all the people that I have worked with, it's always been a wonderful trip. I've always learned, I've always enjoyed it. And then I, in turn, have done the same thing as a mature actress. You know that whenever I see, in fact, the young girl down there at the end of the table, Bob Sponge Pants or whatever, she's a squirrel. Carol. She and I were talking last night, and because she feels that, you know, that it's come to the time where she's older now, and with the voiceover she plays these things for kids, and she says that now they don't call her, the agents do. I said, if it's any comfort, my career really began to start in my mid-30s and then in my 40s, and I said, it'll never end. I said, you're just making a transition now. You won't be doing kids' voices, but you'll be doing maybe more as an actress or whatever.
Do you have any advice for young people that maybe want to get into the business themselves?
My advice has always been, when I talk to young students and things like that, is never give yourself a time limit. You know, I've heard people say, oh, I'm an actor. I decided, though, after a year, you know, I gave it a year. You can't. You give it your life. It's your lifetime. When people say, it's my life, you know, it sounds so crazily over-dramatic, melodramatic, but it's true. It really is. When it grabs you, it grabs you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it really does, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I don't want to embarrass you, but I would like to know, were there any things you did in your work that maybe was a bit of a flub, a little goof, a little boo-boo?
Oh, you
Yeah.
muck up all the time.
Okay.
I clean that up a little bit. But sometimes out of things that are unexpected, and when you really think you've done the worst thing in the world, the best thing comes out of it all.
Really?
You never know, so you can't judge.
Oh, okay.
We never can see the whole picture.
Oh, okay.
We think we can, but we never can.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm curious, what is it you're most proud of?
I tell you the truth, I'm not proud of anything.
Really?
No.
Do you watch yourself?
No.
In any? Oh,
No.
really?
No. I've only seen myself in 25 years twice.
Oh.
Friday the 13th. And I've never seen the rest of them.
Uh-huh.
And I don't look at my other movies. I've seen them once when they first come out, and then that's it.
Oh.
That's why I love the theater. I love doing it live. I love saying the words, having the emotions, giving it to the audience. They take it out with him, but I've done it. And when I go on stage the next day or night, I'm a different person. I say the same words. I have the same blocking on the stage, you know, your movements and all. But you're always different every moment of your life. And so you go with that difference, and if you look and see and listen and hear, everything is vital and alive and spontaneous, and the audiences feel that. There's some actors who lock it in opening night, you know. If they lift their little finger in the second act, they lift the little finger in the second act.
Oh.
And big actors, I'm
More
talking about
mechanical
major. Well, it's just that they feel more safe. But I feel like I prefer being on a tight rope. And if you slip, you pick yourself up and dust yourself off and start all over again. They asked me that once on I've Got a Secret. They said, you know, what's your favorite song? What song, to the panelists, Henry Morgan and Bill Cullen, you know, and what song do you think really represents who you are and what you are? And that was my song. Pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again.
It's a whole philosophy.
That's life. Yeah, that's life.
Do you have any future projects, any pet projects you're working on?
Well, as I said before, surprises just happen. This is all relatively new to me, going out and doing this autograph signing things of pictures. But what I like about it is that I enjoy people. I was born enjoying people. And
I know the fans really appreciate it. They do.
Oh, and I appreciate them. I mean, where would we be without not only fans, but audiences? Where would we be if people didn't?
Yeah.
I've never understood why actors have to get so uptight about somebody wanting their autograph. It's an honor. It's a privilege that audience allows you to be what you are and what you want to do. Oh, no. So I just look for surprises. I'll be 79 on November 1st.
You don't look it.
No, I don't
You
feel it either.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And I feel most fortunate that here I am still out being with the public at that age in my life.
That's
I
great.
didn't even know if I'd be alive by then. You know, you think when you're young. There was a radio show once when I was a girl growing up. It was called Helen Trent, and it was an afternoon soap. And it used to say, the introduction of the radio show, can a woman over 35 still find romance? I said, 35? She's an ancient. What does she want romance for? As I'm making lunch for my brother, you know. And I thought, oh, well, here I am at 79. I'm not interested in romances, but I still love life.
That's good. That's
I'm in
great.
love with life.
The fans are going to want to know, do you have a website where they can kind of get in touch with you?
There are websites all over the place, but I've never put one out. But somehow they know where I am because I get fan mail to my home, my apartment in New York.
Really?
So I think it's on a website somewhere. No, the fan mail comes directly to me.
Is there a place people can kind of keep in touch of where you'll be appearing in the future?
I never know where I'm going to be appearing.
Oh, really?
No actor knows.
Oh, okay.
Only opera singers know what they're doing next year or whatever.
Okay.
But actors, a telephone call, and all of a sudden when things are black and bleak and a job comes along, something happens.
Okay.
Or a lovely interview like this with you, out of the blue.
Yeah.
I got up this morning, I didn't know I'd be able to say these things.
Well,
Very
it's
nice.
it's an honor to be able to talk.
My pleasure, believe me, my honor.
Thank you, I sure appreciate
Thank you.
That was Betsy Palmer, Jason's mom from the movie Friday the 13th. That's it for this episode of The Future and You. If you enjoyed the program, please mention it to a friend, and be sure to join me again next time. Until then, I have been your host, Stephen Euin Cobb. On behalf of myself and all my guests, I thank you for listening.